What's up? What's up, fight fans? Freakolino Bay, Frank Bay, boxing. Shit, Mike, damn, always jumping. But what's up? What's up? Hope you're watching the fights. We got fights on right now with preliminary Zuffa boxing. Decent weekend of boxing. There was a women's card that just ended. It was Basuda, terrible. You know what I'm saying? But that's life, pal. But let's gonna cook on the main subject, Deontay. But let's get to an intro that is everybody's favorite. Hit that like button.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Frank Bay, talking that boxing biz, say your opinion, but you don't say it. What it is, you know that it's Frank Bay, talking that boxing biz, but you don't mean it. Frank Bay, Frank to the busy bay, that's right, you know that it's Frank Bay. Frank Bay, talking that boxing biz, say your opinion, but you
What's up? What's up? People are hyping up Moises Saitama. Yeah, man. I mean, look, he had a good performance. I mean, it was a great performance, right? But against a punching bag. So respect to Moises Saitama. Salute more BC. Hit the like. Little eye candy. White girl. What is it? White Girl Wednesday. Michaela Mayer. She was on the show. The intro. I know it's the fave. But I don't know, man. I think I gotta mix it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna mix the intro up. I gotta put some boxing shit, right? You know it's already Frank Bay, but I'm glad you like it. It is copyrighted. Lurking. Moises Atama turned down the Frank Sanchez and Richard Torres for IBF Eliminator. Yeah, Sanchez and Torres will be fighting, I believe, on May 23rd on the Alexander Usyk undercard. But yeah, man, Zuffa boxing. The preliminaries are going on right now, so tune into that. I believe the main show starts at 6 p.m. Not a lot of names, but it is boxing, right? It is boxing. We'll tune in. Did anybody catch the women's fight? I believe it was Caroline Dubois. Is it Dubois? Caroline Dubois and Terry Harper. Just a terrible, disgusting fight. And what gets me, you know, it really grinds Frank Bay's gears is that you got all these cucks on X and YouTube, and they're just glazing this shit like it's you know, like a super fight, like a mega fight. I gotta say, man, ESPN MVP is dropping the ball with these women fights. It was an all women's card. There was a little Mexican torta pounding on Ellie Scottney. She kind of got robbed. She was boxing like Chavez, and they didn't give her no rounds. You know what I'm saying? Salute Hawker Mustang. John Blaze lurking. Thank you. Hit the like. And then what was the other card? It was the Ellie Scottney. I think that was the co. But yeah, just horrible, terrible. I can't believe they got rid of ESPN boxing for that shit. Come on, Deontay Wilder versus Derek Chisora was a sloppy fight. I mean, it was more than sloppy. It was just utter. It was trash. I'm sorry, man. You know, I was on the BDA show. Salute, hit the like, BDA. There was a live last night, a 4-hour live. I tried to hop in, but I got into it, people, because they were trying to tell me that Deontay's back. Deontay's back. Entertaining fight. It was an entertaining fight, but I wouldn't say that Deontay Wilder's back. I mean, honestly, it was a shit fight, right? It was a hell of a shit fight. I mean, they were flopping, they were slopping. Salute Frank Bay. Thank you, Pounds. Good to see you back, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, boxing will never leave you. You know what I'm saying? Things happen, we walk away, but that's why I said, you know, that's life, pal. You got to get used to it, man. Ride the waves. But a lot of boxing this weekend. You know what I'm saying? It really was. It looked like a very entertaining, tough man competition. Yeah, that's what it was. Nothing more than that. It was a name that we've seen before. That's right. Salute, happy Easter to Bones. Hey, the Easter Bunny is pagan, right? You shouldn't be celebrating Easter egg hunting. And I remember I was with some kids, you know, it's kind of messed up. Their parents were really into it like that. They couldn't celebrate Easter. It was demonic. It's like, bro, it's Easter egg, you know. But salute to everybody. That's right. Hopefully you're enjoying maybe some brewskis, you know, had some lunch with the fam bam. You know what I'm saying? I try to celebrate holidays on the off days, so I went out Friday night. I mean, call me a pagan, I guess, but you know, like 4th of July, I try to celebrate the day before or after. I just like to stay home. It's very crowded, very busy, but hopefully you're enjoying some good food, some Easter brunch. Look like an exhibition fight. Well, you know, the messed up thing is they charge for that shit. I couldn't believe they charged people for that, and people paid for it. I mean, I'm thinking there's some people that pay for it. I mean, you know, on BDA's show, everybody watched the fight, so I'm assuming uh, everybody paid for it, right? I'm assuming all of us that watched it paid for it. But it's crazy that they charged. You know, it's like they charge a pay per view, and you know, imagine if you buy that pay per view thinking you're about to get some that's lifestyle Chisora. Yeah, and then they were like telling each other they love them after the fight. They were eating Five Guys. This is the thing with boxing, you know, about boxing. It's all about Tim Tszyu with the knockout. You know, sometimes I hate myself for being a boxing fan. More BC. Do you ever feel that way? It's like after you beat your meat, and then you have that guilt, like, damn, I shouldn't have did that. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel about boxing. It's like, why would I waste a Saturday night watching Tim Tszyu? You know what I'm saying? I felt like I went to a peep show. You know, it was just like, this was awful. Sergi said, are you watching Zuba? Yeah, I got it on in the background. It's the prelims, but it's Rodriguez and Troy Nash, another back foot bitch, light-skinned yellow dude. They're trying to hype. But yeah, that Tim Tszyu was just awful, man. I mean, this is the crazy thing about boxing, is that, like, when you're a degenerate like Frank Bay, you know, you watch it all, and it's just like, it's terrible. I'm like, why am I watching these low level fights? But I mean, that's what it is, right? What else will we have to talk about? And even the Jasora fight, like I was saying, I mean, they sold us this as a pay-per-view, which I know the people that listen to me, the people that I speak to, I know none of us thought that was a legitimate pay-per-view, right? There's no way, right? But imagine the people that bought it, right? You buy it. It's like buying you think you're buying a pornographic movie, and it's gonna be some young hot 18-year-olds, and then it's like some 60-year-old saggy titty, wrinkly, you know, no ass having grannies. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's people that like that stuff, but that's what it was like watching. It's like, you know, okay, it was entertaining. It was entertaining. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of shit can be entertaining that is not healthy for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's boxing. But it's buyer beware, right? Like, Tim Tszyu look alright. You know, Matador, I thought he looked like shit. I thought he was getting tagged by a guy who was brought in to lose, who had no punching power. It was just a showcase fight, but I don't think that prepares him for Earl Spence. And this is the thing with boxing. They're bringing Earl Spence out of the dead. Tim Tszyu looks shot. What are we doing, man? What are we doing? Wilder is back. Blaze, I hope you're trolling. We'll bet the house on Deontay. You know, I wasn't able to go live. I wish I was able to go live. You know, Deontay is famous now for the, you know, the pullout game. Deontay lacked pullout game. Do people still talk about pullout game? I know Frank Bay's pullout game is strong. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, isn't that the worst thing you ever heard from a chick when she tells you pull out? You know, make sure you pull out. And in your head, you're like, damn. You tell her, yeah. You know, you're like, yeah, I'll pull out. But it's like, you know, it's like the worst feeling in the world, right? Like, how many times have you said you're going to pull out and you didn't make it? You didn't make it to the finish line. You know what I'm saying? Deontay, come on her back with the towel ready. I got Tim Tszyu knocking Spence out under 4 rounds. Shit, right now, I got Earl Spence just based off Tim Tszyu is shot, man. Nothing but leftovers in boxing. Yeah, man, you know what, man? I mean, we complain when we don't get anything. And then when they give us slop, that's what we got. You know what I'm saying? They give us slop and we're supposed to like it and we watch it. And, you know, what else are you going to do? You know what I'm saying? I really don't like UFC. I guess UFC was on. Spence is trash. Yeah, I mean, how long has Earl Spence been out? Like 2 months? Has it been 2 months already? No, not 2 months. I'm sorry. 2 years. He's been out 2 years. The last time we seen him, he got beat the fuck up. Spence best win Sean Porter. Yeah, no, I mean, look, Earl Spence is shot, but it will be a pay-per-view. We will be paying attention, and I think people want to see it. I mean, I'll watch it. I just don't know if I'm gonna pay for it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be pay-per-view. But that's the PBC, right? Spence is also chinny. He's showing videos that he's training, that he's doing this and that. But the guy's shot, man. I mean, this is the beef, the argument that I had with some characters on Mr. BDA. Again, salute BDA. It was highly entertaining, right? It was highly entertaining talking boxing because people were telling me that Deontay's back, that he has a chance. And I kind of got a little irritated. I was like, bro, you can't tell me that you seen anything special with Deontay last night. There's no way you seen anything.
They've got great people around them, and the two of them are putting on a show.
I said, what did you see? Because I didn't see anything that made me think Deontay's back. Deontay Wilder was best known for having the right hand, right? I seen somebody on YouTube or Twitter. Some commentator was talking about Deontay, the right hand from heaven, the heaven sent right hand or something like that. And yeah, at one time he did have it. Every fighter, right? Every legend has that special thing they have, right? Whether it's a chin, Canelo's chin, blazing speed, Lomachenko's foot movement. But eventually it all goes. Don't go begging your mortgage on a shot Spence. Hey, man, there's going to be people that do. I feel like Frank Bay doesn't really break down boxing. We get caught up in the rumors, but let's actually talk some analytical, objective boxing, right? Let's look at what we watched last night, and this is what I'm talking about. Deontay, man, he's known for the right hand. That's what he set his hat on. It was that one punch knockout power, and it was legit. It was legit. I mean, he had it. How many years ago? Are we talking 6-7 years before? I guess the Tyson Fury fight. But even in those fights, he did drop Fury. But I mean, that thing was legit, right? I mean, had he fought AJ, maybe he lands on AJ. We know Anthony Joshua is chinny, right? Hit the like. I will be dropping the link. I never say subscribe. I seen that, a lot of people watch, but they don't subscribe. I don't know if they just hate Frank Bay. You know what I'm saying? They don't like my intro. But hit the subscribe, man. Join. I will be dropping the link. We're just gonna talk about Deontay, King Wilder. You know what I'm saying? Pull out game is lacking. You know what I'm saying? Poor Deontay though. The women get the best of us. I guess he married some little squishy face Asian chick, and she cleaned him out. Is that the chick that he knocked up? I get, he says he left a stain on her back, and then she went and put it up her trap. Frankie, to this day, that's right. So Carl from Down Under, who should fight Deontay? Carl, you should go around saying Opataya. Because, Opataya, man, that's a lick right there. Deontay's not the biggest heavyweight. That'd be a hell of a fight. Joe Opataya, Deontay. What's happening, girls? Who's the girls? I don't have a vagina between my legs. No, I'm just playing. Salute Sid Boxing. But so take away Lomachenko's footwork. Take away Mike Tyson's head movement. Take away Chavez's liver shot. Take away Canelo's chin. What do you have? You have average boxers. The special ones that get by on specialness. You trying to get Deontay eating food through a straw bread? No, I mean, I think that's a great fight, right? If you're Joe Opataya, you think about going to heavyweight. Benavidez talked about going to heavyweight. The one guy I'd be targeting is Deontay. I think Zoo will beat Spence. You white boys, man. I know Hawker, solid white cat, right? The white boys, they just y'all been on Timmy Zoo. You want that too, huh? No, I just think, yeah, I would be rooting for Timmy Zoo. I think he got screwed over by the PBC when they he could have been undisputed. He could have been undisputed against Jamel Charlo. It never happened, and they pulled some shenanigans, and Timmy Zoo got screwed. And look where he's at now. But he's finished, man. He's finished. I didn't see anything to make me think that he has a chance against the top guys. and it'll just be a battle of shot guys. Carl, what's up, bruh? That's right, hit the like. Walter was talking about his baby mama of his oldest daughter. Oh, okay. It wasn't the so this guy just keeps getting played by chicks. You know, you're supposed to imagine being a heavyweight champion of the world and you're getting played by chicks. You know, that's why Frank Bay is on the robot revolution, man. You know, dudes have been abused by women for eons. You know what I'm saying? It all started with Eve, right? When will you suckers learn? You know what I'm saying? Only good for one thing. No, I'm just playing. You know what I'm saying? Jai rank number 1, WBA number 3 in WWC. Nowhere to hide, boys. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just saying if he was, you know, people had talked about him going to heavy. You know, now's the time you got food in Deontay Wilder. But just sloppy fight. You know, how about the referee? How about the referee in that fight? I mean, I thought Deontay slipped. I didn't think it was a knockdown. Chisora, they're talking about he's falling through the ropes. How did he not get disqualified when his trainers, his team was helping him up? But you know, the characters on the BDA show, I was arguing with them, and they were saying that Deontay just has to work on a couple things. I said, what is he gonna work on? He was a one-trick pony. They said, oh well, he was moving, he was throwing different punches. I said, yeah, against a punching bag. Look, Derek Chisora was a punching bag. There was no head movement, no defense. And my only thing, I said, you know what, man? I mean, an average, decent heavyweight that can box a little bit, can move his head, would clean up with Deontay Wilder. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was just two grandpas in terms of boxing. Yeah, he's gone, man. But look, man, all he had was the right hand, and he doesn't even have that no more. I mean, we're watching the replay right here. He's landing it clean. And Chisora goes nowhere. And Chisora, man, he just eats shit. Frank, his power is there, but since he is the old torque, speed, and explosiveness is gone. Boys, Ralph, isn't that kind of the same thing? I hear what you're saying, and yeah, I mean, look, we're all gonna have our definitions and explanations, but I don't know. To me, it just looked like power is gone, Ralph. Yeah, I mean, look, man, it's heavyweight boxing, right? So anybody could get slept at any time. I mean, even a decent punch, if it lands correctly in the heavyweights, you know, you might go down. We've seen these guys trade knockdowns, but as far as like that specialness, that one punch explosive power, yeah, man. I mean, Deontay, the aura is gone. That's what people talk about, having aura. You know, the aura is gone. He's not the same person anymore. I think, you know, as fans, we get caught up in nostalgia. It's like we keep thinking like the Tim Tszyu, Earl Spence. I mean, we're gonna be waiting to see the old guys, and they ain't there no more, man. They ain't there no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like a fine chick. You know, they say chicks they hit a wall. You know, everybody, that's the thing about life, right? That's life, pal. Everybody got the wall, and you hit the wall. You know what I'm saying? You ain't what you used to be. You know what I'm saying? If you used to kick ass in the streets, and then, you know, you lose a little step, you're gonna get slept, man. These young cats, young lions, you know, youth always wins. You know, youth is served best, right? That's the saying. And yeah, you get older, you know, they say you get wilder, wiser, but you're never the same, man. You're never gonna get back what you used to be. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna be the typical, oh, I used to be this, you know, the typical the guy who peaked in high school, right? He always talks about the high school days or the college days. You know, you never want to be that guy. Oh, what I used to be, what I used to do. You know what I'm saying? You got to accept, I think it was Clint Eastwood. He said, a man's got to know his limitations. A man's got to know his limitations. And, you know, it never really resonated with me. But now after watching Deontay Wilder, it kind of sticks. It makes sense. You know what I'm saying? The best thing in life is to know your limitations. You need to know what you do good and what you don't do good. You know what I'm saying? If you ever been in a leadership position, if you ever had to teach people, you ever had to train people, you know that everybody processes information differently, right? So you can't teach one person the same as you could teach another person, right? Everybody has different learning abilities and specialties. So, you know, the quickest way to success is to work on what you're best at, and the things that you're not good at, You could be able to teach, but they always say some people are better at math and some people are better at English. People that are good at math struggle with English, and people that can write very good, they struggle at math. That's just, we all have different abilities, right? But you got to know what those are, and once you lose that specialness, man, it's probably time to call it a day. But the money's gonna be too good. And look, man, the argument on Mr. BDA, again, go watch the show, was who would win between a grudge match between Anthony Joshua and Deontay. And look, I didn't argue that Anthony Joshua is him. I mean, we know Anthony Joshua's seen better days. But just looking at it, and no, I'm not judging it off Jakey Paulina. Okay, he slept Jakey Paulina. But just as far as careers, what AJ has done and what Deontay has done. Anthony Joshua went 24 rounds with Alexander Usyk. And he got beat, but he hung, and I couldn't see Deontay Wilder doing the same thing. Now, we can't use triangle theory, but I gotta say, you'd have to say AJ is cooked too. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay, so that's the thing. But it's crazy, man. Frank, support USA Boxing. Well, I do, but USA don't got many heavyweights. So you want me to support Deontay? I'm not okay. I always say this. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm a super fan of Sebastian Fundora. I said that. I'm gonna throw my hat in with Sebastian Fundora. But as far as boxing goes, I've never had a super personal favorite that I'm willing to bet the house on. You know what I'm saying? AJ's chin is gone. Don't get full contact sparring anymore. Is that what they're saying? Look, yeah, both guys are cooked, but I think AJ has a little bit more ability. I think he has a little bit more left. And could Deontay touch his chin? Of course. But based on last night, I just can't see that Deontay doing anything. Zuffa, he had a chin. Shakira and Devin ducking Fundora, bruh. Wooder, bronze statue in Alabama, already moldy and full of pigeon poo. Yeah, you know what? Look, Deontay, he was him. At one point in time, he was supposed to be the next Ali, the next Tyson. But those in the know knew that he was lacking. Deontay was a one-trick pony. There was a lot of hype at the time. I guess there's like this internet crew, YouTube crew, whatever you want to call them. What are they? The LDBC? And I guess it's Lion Den's Only Boxing, but basically they're pro-black channels, and their whole thing was essentially saying that black boxers are the best, right? Black American boxers. Zuffa on now, yeah, man. I got it on the background. I think it's just the preliminaries, but the main card will start at 6 p.m. But they had a lot of viewers and lots of subscribers. The LDBC. His interview with Piers Morgan was weird as fuck. Yeah, that's where he's talking about leaving stains on a chick's back, and she took the cum. Let's just say what it is. He didn't get to his towel quick enough. His pullout game was lacking, and he caught a baby. But Deontay Wilder was him, man. And people really bought it. People really bought the whole FBA Black American boxer Deontay Wilder was bringing American boxing, but specifically Black American boxing back, right? Like they were gonna show they were the superior race through Deontay Wilder, right? That's really ultimately what it was, right? Is that like black boxers are the best. They go back to Ali, Sugar Ray. LDBC is back, Brett. Can't wait for Blue Balls and Fred to get excited. Yeah, it's back. It's back, man. But what I don't think the documentary will be documentary. Yeah, Deontay, man, he's had a lot of ups and downs. And you know what? I mean, he proved something. I think he proved that he's got heart, that he's tough. I mean, he took some shots. He was still on his feet. The last time we seen him, I think he was getting dropped by Zilly Zhang. I mean, against somebody that fought back, not the guy he fought a year ago, Hendron or something like that. Thank you, Zufaroo. I'm off to work, legends. Go make that bread, bruh. But Yeah, Deontay Wilder was him, and people drank the Kool-Aid until Tyson Fury ended that, right? Bokachuk is fighting Shane Mosley on Zuffa Boxing 6. You talking about uh Shane Mosley or Shane Mosley Jr.? Later, brah. That's right. That's right. Hit the like. Hit the like. Yeah, man. I mean, I guess it was the weekend of the washed up fighters, right? Tim Tszyu, Deontay. I don't think there was anything on the undercard of Deontay. But Deontay, you know, the big news is talking about Anthony Joshua. That's apparently that it seems like that's the rumor mill. Anthony Joshua. We know Anthony Joshua is coming back off of what is he coming back off of? Oh, the accident. So, you know, we didn't know if he was going to be back, but it looks like he is. I wonder what Deontay had to say.
Most definitely, because I had a durable opponent. I knew Daryl was going to come. I knew he was going to bring everything that he had. This is his retirement fight. And I was telling him in the ring as I started seeing his eyes swell and his temple start to buck a little bit. I said, bro, you got to live for your kids.
So, yeah, apparently a lot of people are making the rounds. They're saying that Deontay Wilder was talking to Derek Chisora before he hit him, and he was saying, I love you, bro. It was really weird and quasi homoerotic. Matador got to give his lot lizard a ride. I think AJ taking a tune-up in June. Andres Casares Misael Rodriguez, a very good fight. When is that? That does sound like a good fight. But yeah, Deontay Wilder was saying that he basically spared Derek Chisora, which, you know, if you're buying these fights, I don't think that's something I want to hear. You know, I'm buying the fight, and you're telling me basically you carried the guy. And I think people should get their money back for that, man. You don't ever want to hear that. Like Deontay saying that's his, you know, brother. They're their lovers, and he spared them, right? Hit the like, hit the like. I'm going to drop the link. If you want to talk about Deontay Wilder and he's back, does he beat AJ? You know, does he beat AJ? What do you guys think? Who wins between AJ and Deontay? Let me ask you that, man. Who wins between Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua? And does anybody still care? Is it a big fight still? Is that a big fight? Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. I want to know, is that a big fight? Do you guys see that as a big fight still? I'm going to say, yeah, it still makes money. I think it still makes money. I think it'll sell really well. I think that's a fight that'll still sell. I know it's still a good fight. You think it is? You think it's still a good fight? I don't think it's a good fight. I mean, I think it'll be interesting, but as far as paying pay-per-view and being interested and breaking down fights, there's no way we can say that it'll be a upper echelon style of fight. I think it'll be a tentative fight. I think they'll both be afraid to exchange. I think eventually somebody will get caught. I think Deontay will probably have be at a disadvantage. I think AJ has more tools, but AJ's that vulnerable. You know, he got beat by Andy Ruiz. You're going to get the fight 5 years too late. That's life, pal. Exactly. You know, but we're degenerates. You know, watching these fights this past weekend, watching women's fights, if you're a boxing fan, you're pretty much a degenerate. I mean, this guy, Troy Nash, is awful. He's got a Mexican punching bag, and he's just back foot bitching it. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, man. We need action. We need exciting fights and fighters. Like I was saying, I was watching that boxing match, and it was just very lackluster. Wasn't a lot of action. I guess Caroline Dubai, they're hyping her up, and she dropped Terry Harper. I don't know who, somebody with that name. I tuned out. It was awful. I don't know why they're showing that shit. You know, save for the knockdown and in the last round, they try to make it up as exciting. Nah, that ship has sailed. Well, look, I mean, we can still pick. Who do you got? Who's going for Deontay Wilder? Are you gonna go for the Brit, the Nigerian Brit and Big Femi? Are there a lot of AJ fans? I know AJ actually has a lot of American fans. A lot of American boxing fans go for Anthony Joshua because they don't like Deontay Wilder. You know, because Deontay turned a lot of boxing fans away with the whole Glovegate thing, and a lot of that was propagated by the groups, like I said, the LDBC You know, that whole thing. Tyson Fury cheated. The costume. He was drugged by his trainer. You guys remember that? I mean, we all remember that, right? But you know, Anthony Joshua, what does he have to show for it? You know, getting beat by Dubois. That wasn't supposed to happen. Getting slept by, getting rocked by Usyk, losing to Usyk 2 times. You know, he had the accident, never having the Tyson Fury fights. I got to be honest, I was never high on Anthony Joshua. But then you're going to have a lot of people don't like AJ. And now people are going back and forth and they're arguing who ducked who. Did Anthony Joshua duck Deontay Wilder? People say that Deontay Wilder ducked Anthony Joshua. And what I seen is that the actual paperwork was that Deontay Wilder did turn down the zone deal where some people say $90-100 million. So if you ask me, I would have to say that it was Deontay Wilder that ducked Anthony Joshua. We were gonna get that fight 6-7 years ago, and it didn't happen. But that, you know, that's life, pal. That's boxing, right? That's how boxing works. You know, we end up getting a lot of fights a little too late. I remember Roy Jones and Bernard Hopkins were supposed to fight, and they ended up fighting it as grandpas. Same thing with Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, right? Like, we could have had a rematch, and Fraud Mayweather ducked out. Wilder wins. The weirdos start coming out of the woodwork. Are they already? Honestly, I really haven't seen it online. A lot of weirdos. But, you know, Deontay Wilder saying that Moises Atama is possible. I remember Alexander Usyk was talking about fighting Deontay Wilder. And that's the thing about boxing, right? When you got a name like, yo, Frankenstein. Yeah, what's up, Sarge? It's actually Freakolino. I changed it to Freakolino. You know, for the people that like cyborg pussy. You know what I'm saying? And Frank Bay's pull-out game is strong. But, you know, the only thing I never had was a towel. You know, I just smeared it on her, right? Whoa. But, yeah, man. Look, Deontay, this is boxing, right? As long as you got a name, you can get fights. You know, Regis Prograis, right? He's going over to the UK. He's fighting Conor Benn. And Regis Prograis is pretty much done in my book, but he has a name. I mean, he got washed by Davina Hankey in an awful fight, and he's still getting fights. I got AJ retiring Wilder for good. Wilder sleeps AJ in 1 or 2 rounds. So, see, we have a split, man. Deontay Wilder still has a name, just like one-time Keith Thurman. You know, he's talking about coming back. He's done. Earl Spence, as long as you got a name in boxing, you got fights. You know, there's always young, hungry lions that need food. You know, that's boxing, right? Like, you got this Moises Atama guy. Where's Mr. Booty Loose? I don't know. He's lurking, waiting for Mr. BDA. He didn't come from me. He came from Mr. BDA. He has Mr. BDA beef. He was a long-time caller. But, yeah, salute Booty Juice. You know, I'm happy. Frank Bay was here to give him an intervention. Hopefully, I helped him with the rest of his day. But, you know, today is only boxing. Sorry to tell you, you know, that was an epic live. I think it was 4 hours. Holy smokes. This is just boxing strictly, unless it turns into more. I don't know. Hit the like, hit the link. The link is in the chat. But we are just talking about Deontay. Is he back? Is he shot? Did he prove anything? Did he prove anything to you guys? What would a fight with Moises Atama look like? If you're Moises Atama, I mean, I take that in a heartbeat. I don't think it's a good fight for Moises Atama. See, that's the thing about boxing, right? I can say that it's not a good fight for Moises Atama, and yet it is. Richard Torres gonna be fighting on the pyramids of Giza. Yeah, it's crazy to think that that's still gonna happen with everything going on, but we shall see. It'll be interesting. It could be a snoozer though, because you know Frank Sanchez is a Cuban style boxer, and he does have the Cuban style, kind of back-footing it. Richard Torres, he kind of struggles to get inside. Haven't seen him in a long time, man. That's the problem with boxing, man. But hopefully Richard Torres shows out, and makes a statement, because that's what he needs to do. Because, you know, talking about Deontay Wilder still, the heavyweight division needs an injection. Remember, it was supposed to be Big Baby Miller. Remember when he was supposed to be the it guy? And then he gets into getting slept by Bacoli, right? Bomb Squad, salute Eric Gomez. Exactly. Bomb Squad. Kane Wilder is back. Wakanda forever. You know, I did a video one time when Deontay Wilder got dropped. I don't, was it against Zilly Zhang? And I called it Wakanda forever. And I got a lot of hate mail, man. Wilder is back. Look, I'll let you guys live with that. Put some respect on Wilder ex-wife name. Who's his ex-wife? The little Filipina chick or the chick that stole his babies? And I mean literally stole his babies. Yeah, man, Deontay, man. Remember, you know, his what up, Frank? What up, Jay Will? Long time no see. Hit the like, subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Deontay Wilder's like really had a change of heart, right? Remember when he was talking about catching bodies? He was beating up hookers in hotels. Y'all sound like, I think that's booty loose. Both wives. He has 2 wives. I think he got accused of being a hooker in a hotel. He was always talking about catching bodies, and he really meant it till this day. You know, Deontay had a lot of rage in his heart. You know, he fought angrily, right? He fought, you know, he fought like an angry black man. You know, that's what he would say. And now he's like really changed the whole vibe. He says he's found peace. He loves boxing again. And I ranted about that before. Why is it these old fighters, right? Till this day, exactly. I used to put a towel on the edge of the bed. Wilder, yeah, but you got to be quick to the gun, man. I think he busted and gave 2, you know, went and fell back. You ever bust one so hard you just knock out? You're like, boom, nope, roll over. You know what I'm saying? He didn't smear it. You got to smear it, man. You got to have your pull-out game. Got to be strong, man. Change his vibe, but still screaming about slavery. Is he? Nah, I think he had like an ayahuasca trip, right? Hold on. He had some like drug experience, some ayahuasca. If you guys don't know what that is, it's like some I want to say it's like peyote. It's like some you know, I want to say Native American thing you go to a jungle and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's supposed to like you know, Aaron Rodgers, the quarterback, a lot of athletes have done it. It's supposed to like you know, be like an LSD trip, like really change your perspective, right? Nah, but he cooked BDA like that is you, booty loose. you told on yourself. Frank Bay, Booty Juice is Frank Bay's biggest fan. Yeah, man, you know, I'm always here to help. Ayahuasca. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Wilder before the LDBC influence. I don't remember doing the race baiting stuff. I read her diary, Wilder. Well, I think we've all been there, right? Look, man, getting did dirty by women. It happens, man. If you're not a man until you've been done dirty by a woman, you know what I'm saying? But you should learn from that, right? I think, you know, Tanky Davis, they released the videotapes. Damn, I didn't even cover that. Maybe we'll have to go back. But in case you didn't see Tanky Davis, you know, they released the tapes. And you know what I was saying? It was like, man, haven't we all like grabbed a girl by her hair through a strip club? I mean, come on, man. No, but a lot of people were saying that. Wilder did his brother's wife. Yeah, he was kind of a scumbag, right? Deontay Wilder was kind of a scumbag, you know, especially with the whole Glovegate thing. Frank, did you hear about the mouthpiece that supposedly gave Wilder special powers? No, I don't remember that. Free Tank. Wasn't he on mushrooms and peyote? Yeah, he was doing his drug thing, but it's supposed to like make you more peaceful. You like have an out of body experience. It's like basically they say it's like a religious experience, you know, but it changes your whole mental makeup. You know what I'm saying? But you know, he changed, and sometimes that's for the worse. You know what I'm saying? Deontay, maybe that was the gift in his right hand. You know, that's where his power come from. Like the biblical story Samson, right? He had the long hair, and then his hair was cut, and then he was no longer strong. You know what I'm saying? Every man has that rabbit's tail, right? Some men believe in luck, some don't, but I believe in luck. Do you guys believe in luck? Talking about Easter Sunday. Telekinesis. Africans for Frank Bay. How about everybody for Frank Bay? Asians, Pinoys, Latinos, Mexican, all over the world. Eskimos. How Eskimos for Frank Bay? Chilaquiles. Exactly. But you know, it looks like Deontay Wilder lost something. But what I don't like is when these fighters, man, after boxing is almost over, you ever noticed at the end, it's when it's over, they love to say, "Oh, I love boxing. I love boxing again." You know what I'm saying? But during their run, while they're in the sport, they don't love it. They fight once every 2 years. They don't really deal with the fans and the media. And then just as it's about to end, then they love boxing. Oh, then they find their heart for boxing. It reminds me of like a chick, right? As a dude, you neglect your chick, you don't take her out, you don't treat her, you know what I'm saying? You're selfish, you're a selfish lover, very broken psychologically. And then when she tells you she's about to leave, then it's like, oh, babe, I love you. I'm going to take you out more. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be a selfish lover. That's always the story, right? When someone's ready to leave, then we want to be their friend. Then we want to spend time with them. You know what I'm saying? Wilder versus Andy Ruiz, perfect matchup. Yeah, they were talking about that. They were talking about that before, but it fell through. Andy Ruiz, that's what happens. They both each claim the other guy's ducking. Wilder using God as a shield with the cross all over his merch. Is he now? Look, there's nothing wrong with that. What rep it abandoned y'all and he's never coming? Well, I mean, salute to the homeboy, you know what I'm saying? But we keep it moving. Nobody pins their hat on one person. That's kind of people's mistake, right? Just like Deontay Wilder, he believed in his right hand so much until he didn't have it no more. Now he's trying to build different things, throw different punches, but he was always a one-trick pony. Wilder gooning while reading your diary. CCD lives. Shout out, exactly. Shout out to the CCD. Shout out to all the boxing groups. The more the merrier, right? But yeah, you know what, man? You gotta let the hoes be, man. Let a hoe be. You know what I'm saying? A hoe gonna be a hoe, right? Hoe's gonna hoe, and you gotta let her be a hoe. You know what I'm saying? One of the things I always remember is, do you guys ever watch those pimp documentaries? They used to have a lot of pimp documentaries. I forgot the name. It was like HBO. It was like an HBO documentary, right? And they said that a hoe is a hoe before before you met her. So let her be a hoe. And that's kind of like how you got to handle it, man. That's why I think cyborg trap will eventually take over, man. Men are waking up. But anyway, I digress because we're talking about Deontay and his women trouble. But he was kind of a scumbag. Yeah, Fillmore Slim. Yeah. There was like all these documentaries. Maybe you guys remember. Look it up on YouTube or if you have HBO on demand. They're pretty entertaining, right? What's this? If she knew better, she'd do better, right? If a hoe, I don't know. They have all these this jargon, the pimp talk. But yeah, man. Look, man. These guys, they fall in love when it's too late. When it's over. So this is the lineup for today's Zuffa card. On the main card, you have Azat Hovhannisyan versus Edward Baez. So that should be a pretty good scrap between an up-and-comer. I've seen Baez before. He's a pretty gritty guy. Mark McSale, we've seen him. Is that the name of the documentary? Pimps Up, Hoes Down? That's right, Bros Before Hoes. Is there still that code? Is there still the bro code? Or is it everybody's an Edgar now and everybody's a pimp and a player? Is there still bro code? Bros before hoes? And it never lasts, right? Mark McSale versus Fairgall McCory. I think I've seen McCory. Didn't he like school somebody or beat somebody? Was it El Rayo that he made look bad? I don't know. He made some Mexican look bad. But McSal, we've seen him before. I think he's a former champion. You know who would know that is More BC. More BC, I need an update. And Andres Cortez versus Erison Garcia. Looks like he's Dominican. I got to be honest. I think I've seen these guys, but I don't remember too much about Cortez. Can anybody help a player out? Eskimo Bros more now. Anything goes. Yeah, that's what it seems like. It seems like there's no more bro code. There's no more code in the streets, right? It's just grimy. They talk about slime. It's all about sliming cats. Everybody's backdooring each other. There's no more code in the streets, right? and these hoes is out of control, right? With all the Instagram hoeing and OnlyFans, it ain't safe no more, bro. The game has changed. Is any players out there? Any more players out there? Anybody still in the game playing these hoes? Make sure you're safe. But yeah, Deontay, man, too late, too little, too late. Deontay Wilder is open to fight 21-year-old heavyweight sensation Moises Saitama. I'm not dodging anyone. I'm a veteran in the game. I'm looking forward to fighting any and all of them. If the fans want to see it, then why not? So this is what I'm talking about, man. Boxers at the end of the line, this is when they want to fight everybody. You know, before with Deontay, it was A side, B side. He don't need to fight so-and-so, and he can fight whoever he wants. You know, that whole PBC other side of the street. Remember that's the whole Floyd Mayweather PBC other side of the street. And now that it's at the end of the road, now they love boxing. Now they want to fight everybody. Am I the only one that's seen this? I mean, somebody help me out. Am I missing something? Right? Is it just me, or do you guys recognize this too? You know, Keith Thurman, where the fuck has he been? Now all of a sudden, he's back. You know, he wants to fight everybody. He's going to fight the young guys. He's going to fight the top guys. You know, these guys will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. And during their career, during their prime, you didn't see nothing of the sort. 100%. You agree with me, Eric Gomez? Yeah. I mean, it's like too little, too late, pal. You know, as fans, we have a limit too. You know, when I say that's life, pal, it's like you want me to care now that you know it's over, but I know it's over for you too. But now you didn't care. Now you want me to care. And that ain't how life works, man. Keith looking for his retirement fund. Well, I think he has, I think he made enough money, but at the same time, you know, I think maybe he's embarrassed. He doesn't want to go out like that. You know, it's kind of embarrassing. A lot of times, you know, fighters, they don't want to go out looking like that. You know, I think, do you guys remember like these, Chavez had these farewell fights? You know, like Canelo's coming back. Canelo doesn't need to fight anymore, but he's coming back and he doesn't need to. Maybe he doesn't want to go out looking like that. You know, a lot of times they say that the fighters, you know, they want to go out a winner. I think that's everybody, right? It's just like if you're with the chick and you bust hella quick, you know what I'm saying? And it's maybe your first time with her. Maybe you know you didn't perform very well. It's like you may not even like her, but you just want to, you know, you want another shot. You know, like, come on, girl, give me another shot. You know, you don't want to leave her with like, damn, you a whack ass cat. You know what I'm saying? This motherfucker couldn't hang. Like, you just weak. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to leave that memory with her, right? And then she tells people, like, let's say, you know, you're in school, you're at work. That's why you should never bang a chick at work, right? Let's say you bang a chick at work and, you know, you were two minute man. And then she tells everybody at work, you know what I'm saying? It's over for you. She tell her friends, then everybody at work know, and they put 2 minutes on the microwave and everybody's laughing at you. You know what I'm saying? And all the chicks, every time you walk by, you know, they make that little weenie sign, like little man, 2 minute man, minute man. Yeah, you know, no man wants to go out like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say you need to make your last shot your best shot. You know, your next shot, your best shot, man. You always want to leave a good impression. I only bang a chick at work from about to bounce to another spot. Yeah, you know, that's how I am. That's how I always was. Like, I knew, like, you know what I'm saying? I knew when I was like going to put in my notice or I was going to get another job. I just went kamikaze, right? Hit on the boss's wife, whoever, right? Any chick. I didn't care, man. I just wanted to see, right? Any chick, you know what I'm saying? Old chicks, the young, you know, the younger ones, whoever, right? I just want to leave my mark, right? But you don't do it while you're at work. And if you do, you better rock her world. You know what I'm saying? It's called being broke and circling the joint towards homelessness. Damn, that's going out bad. Nah, man. I don't even think it's that. I think, you know, we just don't want to be remembered like that. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's just in all of our nature, especially fighters' nature, right? You don't want to show your kids the last highlight you had is you being knocked out. Like, Even if you got to fight a scrub, you want a good highlight to go out on. Yeah, Julio Cesar Chavez had like farewell tour. He is fighting like back in backyards, man. It was kind of sad to see, but you know what, man? I mean, that's the thing about boxing. There's no retirement game. There's no farewell fights. This is boxing, man. You get hurt. I think the last one I seen was it Danny Garcia? Danny Garcia, do you guys remember like last year or the year before he had like a farewell fight and it was like pretty brutal and ugly to watch? You know, but that's what it is, man. People don't want to go out like that. I mean, we're going to see I think that's why Fraud Mayweather had second is having doubts, right? He's like, he knows that he's going to look awful. And he doesn't want to leave that impression. Like the Conor McGregor fight, right? That wasn't very good. It wasn't a very good fight. But you know, he doesn't want to go out like that. Danny likes to cry in a fetal position. Yeah, you know, Danny was sensitive, and that's another guy, right? Like he was okay with what's good. We Fight Night TV. Thank you, salute, hit the like. Yeah, you know, Danny Garcia was okay with that, man. He was okay with being complacent during his run, right? During his fight. Remember, he didn't fight very often. He fought a lot of lackluster fights, and then when it's over, now he loves boxing. Now he wants to be a promoter. And that's how it happens. I came across this. This is an interesting picture. I think this is AI. It says David Benavidez and Zurdo Ramirez next to each other. And David looks, what? This has to be fake. There's no way that this is real. This is the thing about boxing, man. People put up a lot of fake shit, man. It's just funny, man. It's just awfully funny. Here he is, him putting up Tank Davis has filed for bankruptcy. I don't know how true that is. But Veronica, hit the like. But that's the thing about boxing. Now Deontay's doing the same thing, right? Deontay Wilder, Coach Eddie, fake AI. Yeah. I don't know, man. People post anything. But yeah, is Deontay back? I'm gonna say no. And like I said during that fight, man. Look, man, I want you to, if you think Deontay's back, tell me one thing that you've seen that made you a believer. Because I seen two guys. Oh, so this is it, right? This is, let me show you guys this. This is Deontay, like, talking to Chisora in the corner, saying he loves him. Really weird shit, man.
Because Wilder couldn't detonates one last. Like, I was waiting for that. To him, I love you. And then nailed him with the. You're not a wrestling guy. I don't think you remember WrestleMania where Shawn Michaels was wrestling Ric Flair and he mouthed to him, I love you. And then nailed him with the super kick. Like, I was waiting for that to happen. I was waiting for that one last punch. Wilder detonates one last bomb, lands on the chin of Chisora. He's out cold. It would have been a poetic ending.
That is crazy, man. That's what I'm talking about. And then after the fight, Deontay says that he let Chisora live. But he's sitting there whispering, I love you. Who does that, man? You guys think this guy's back? But look, man, the only saving grace for Deontay is that he has another dead man walking in front of him in Anthony Joshua. But you know what? Anthony Joshua has a lot of crazy fans. Hit the like. You know what I'm saying? I did drop the link for if any Deontay Wilder believers. Who believes in Deontay Wilder? Stand up now. And, you know, I was thinking about it. I'm like, look, I'm shitting on Deontay. I'm shitting on him. I am. Because I think he just talked too much shit. Now he loves boxing. I'm not buying it. You know, boo-hoo. You know, his pullout game was lacking. You know, he didn't get to the towel in time. And that's all fine and dandy. But I'm calling him shot. And, okay, even if he gets lucky against Anthony Joshua, I don't think that makes me look bad. But yeah, I could look stupid. You know, I was like, damn, you know, what if Deontay pulls off the impossible? Can Deontay Wilder pull off the impossible? Can he upset AJ, Anthony Joshua? Wilder pullout game is weak. I mean, look, man, honestly, as far as the pullout game goes, if I'm speaking to the men in here, you know what I'm saying? I rarely tried it. I think I tried it a couple times, and to be honest, a couple times I didn't make it to the finish line. You just can't do it. Hold on one second. Looks like we have a guest. Maybe they're going to go Deontay Wilder Homer. Hello, sir. You're on there.
It's the one and only.
Okay, what up?
What's good, man?
Nothing, man. Just talking about Deontay. Is he
back?
back?
Yeah. I seen the fight. I was entertained, man. I mean, the fight was sloppy. It was kind of like a ballroom brawl. You know what I mean? The fight was sloppy, but both guys wanted to win. You know what I mean? It wasn't much to it. Deontay Wilder looked a little bit better than he did last time, which is not saying a lot because he looked completely shot the last time he fought, which I think was the last time he lost was against Zilli Zane. He looked shot in that fight. He looked better, but I don't think he's nowhere near where he was. The way he's throwing his right hand, he doesn't throw it. He's like he's chopping down with it. He's almost slapping with it. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? He's chopping down with it. Man, it was like a foul fest, man. It was holding so many freaking rabbit punches. And, I mean, I bet the referee was exhausted. It was so many crazy knockdowns, man. People get, fake knockdown. The referee did a horrible job, by the way. I don't think anybody knocked down anybody, to be honest. They had 3 knockdowns. I didn't see not one legitimate knockdown. The Wilder knockdown, that wasn't a knockdown. I mean, when Derek Chisora, they counted that knockdown for Derek Chisora. He never even touched him. And the ref called it a knockdown. You know what I mean?
No, I mean, I think, you're spot on. I think Chisora was falling all over the place. It was a sloppy fight. And you brought up a good point. Deontay telegraphs everything. And I mean, literally everything.
Yeah, he's loading up. But when he, if he does fight AJ and make that fight, that's an easy fight for AJ, even though he's a little bit past his prime too. But he's just way more technically sound than Deontay Wilder. And Deontay Wilder, for some reason, it seemed like that right hand just don't have the same velocity that it had on it. I don't know what it is. It doesn't. I don't know if it was just the level of opposition he was fighting. The night fighting tougher guys, and they're able to take that punch. That could be an issue too. That maybe he's fighting guys that can take the punch now. But he's just not delivering in the same way. It doesn't have the same type of sting on it because Derek Chisora got hit with several right hands, and he didn't evaporate like people used to do back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's just life, man. I think any fighter's best attribute is going to fade, is going to diminish, and I think Deontay's just diminished. That is just simple physics, right? Like it just deteriorated. He doesn't have it.
Nah, and it looked like he broke his hand again too. I hurt his hand, and that's probably just because the way he punches is just improper. That's why he's always hurting his hand all the time. He doesn't punch properly. So I don't know if he hurt his hand or his wrist or whatever, but yeah, like I said, he's lining up everything. What I was amazed is that he always goes straight back. Like Chisora threw this slow jab, he was able to actually hit him with it. Deontay just goes straight back in the line, then he just goes up against the rope. That's like his instinct. He doesn't really step. He don't step off to the right. He don't step off to the left. He just goes straight back. And the reflexes aren't there. He got hit with a lot of overhand rights. I was surprised that he held up, to be honest. He did get hit with some big shots, and he seemed to take them well. So credit to him. Like he looked better, but he's 40 years old, man. And I can't fault him, for trying to get a little buzz around the win, because at the end of the day, these guys are in it to make as much money as they can, and that would be a huge payday, for Wilder to get the AJ fight. So I'm not mad at him at all for calling him out. I would have done the same thing. You know what I mean? I would do the same thing because, hey, that's the biggest payday I'm probably going to ever get in my life. So, yeah, I want to call him out, ride this momentum right here. I came over here to London or UK. I fought in your backyard. I'm calling you out, and hopefully we can get this fight on.
No, I mean, you said something that I didn't even bring up. But, yeah, his chin held up. I was surprised that his chin held up because there were certain moments where I'm like, wow, I can't believe it held up. That was interesting. So if he had one takeaway, I think it was that. If I'm gonna give him any credit, was that his chin was slightly better than I thought it was.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. But like, all in all, though, it was an entertaining fight. It seemed like to me, at any point in time, any guy could go. You know what I mean? Because the way they were just slinging these crazy punches at each other, man. It's like they both were swinging for the fences. It was entertaining. I think the fans were entertained. Deontay Josuah is 100% retired, man. I mean, if he doesn't, he's gonna have some freaking brain damage or something, man. He has to chill. You know what I mean? I hope he does retire, man, because he had a lot of fights. He's been in a lot of wars, taking a lot of big shots. And if he didn't, I think Deontay Josuah really he was in bad shape for this fight too, man. He wasn't in shape for this fight. He came in career heavy, 266 pounds. I mean, how much training did you do for this fight? You know what I mean?
My analysis was that any decent heavyweight that with a little bit of head movement and defense will wipe the floor with Deontay. The Deontay Wilder we just witnessed, any decent heavyweight would have beat him. What do you think about that?
Well, yeah, like I say, he's an old man. In boxing years, not in life, but in boxing years, he's a grandfather, man. So any of those young guys, the Moses, the Daniel Dubois, those guys like that, Philip Hergovich, those type of guys right there, they're definitely gonna give him problems, man, because he just, he's old. I mean, it's called a spade a spade. And even him going in with AJ, I mean, AJ is significantly younger than Deontay, even though he's not a spring chicken either. He's 36. So 36 and 40, that's a big difference in boxing, man.
Yeah.
And AJ's a much bigger guy, more technically sound. He's out there training with Usyk. He just lost his friend, so I'm pretty sure the next person he come back with is either going to be very violent or it's going to be a train wreck. There's no in between. You know what I mean? Just him going through that whole experience, losing his friends and all that stuff. So
yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna be highly motivated to go out there and wreck something, or like I say, it's gonna be a train wreck.
No, that fight. Well, my stance is who wins, but who cares? Do you care about that fight? Should fans care about that fight? What do you think?
Well, the thing about it, whether we care about it or not, people are gonna watch it. And you know what? Even though you saying that you don't care about it, guess what? You're gonna watch it because you're a boxing fan. You know what I mean? You want to see what's going to happen. So yeah, I'm gonna watch it. But my thing is, I want. Hold on one second. Wilder's asking for it. He's asking for this fight. So I don't. If AJ wins, I don't want to hear anybody making no excuses for Wilder because AJ's a bum, according to them.
Yeah.
So you can't have it both ways. If AJ is chinny and he's scared and he's a pump and he's a bum, if he beats Deontay Wilder, don't start making excuses for him. Deontay asked for this fight. AJ didn't ask for it. He wanted it. Deontay wants to fight. I want to see it. I'll definitely watch it because I want to see it, man. The reason I want to see it because I want to put an end to it. I want to put an end to this 10-year, he said, she said, who ducked who, I just want to put an end to it. You know what I mean?
No, I agree with you. I think I agree with your point that people still want to watch it. But at the same time, I mean, it doesn't mean anything anymore. It literally means nothing. Before, I mean, it was going to be who was the best heavyweight. But now it's just bragging rights. And AJ will get no credit if he knocks out Wilder.
No, I mean, I agree, man. But like at the end of the day, you can't ask for something and then diminish the guy and say that he's nobody, he can't do this, he can't do that. And then if he wins, then you can't turn around and say, oh, well, he waited him out when there was opportunities for that fight to be made. Now, whatever side of the fence you're on, whether it was AJ's fault or whether it was Wilder's. See, I'm going to tell you what's about to happen. I'm going to give you tomorrow's news today. They're going to start rehashing this whole AJ Wilder debacle. And they're going to be people on both sides of the fence blaming each other why the fight didn't happen 8 years ago. but it's out there. I mean, both guys had an opportunity to make the fight. I think, if I remember correctly, I think Wilder turned down $120 million, three-fight deal.
Did. Yep.
But that came out of Shelly Finkel's mouth, in quotation marks, on video. So I don't know how you refute that the fight wasn't to be made. Not only that, Wilder, when he went over there to fight, I think it was, who was it, Joseph Parker? It was a 2-fight deal already signed. All he had to do was beat Joseph Parker, and he had a 2-fight deal with Anthony Joshua. Both of them had already signed it. The contract was signed, sealed, and delivered. So when Wilder lost to Joseph Parker, then all the Wilder supporters started making excuses, said they set Wilder up. How do you set the man up? Joseph Parker's not an undefeated fighter, guys. Last time I checked. I mean, he's a good fighter, but he's not, like this juggernaut that can't be defeated. Am I right or wrong?
No, I forgot about that. You're right. I mean, they've tried to make this fight before, and Deontay keeps getting all these chances. So, yeah, man, they people have been wanting this fight, but I don't know. In my opinion, man, I just think it's just, it doesn't mean anything anymore. I'm just saying from my perspective as a boxing fan and talking boxing, I'm just like, bro, it don't mean anything anymore.
But you got to think about it, man. I want to be 100 now. If this fight happens, it's going to be huge, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. That's kind of the
it's
double-edged sword.
It's going to be a suit. It's going to have close to the buzz that it would have had when it first took place. Not exactly the same, but it's so much around it, because right now we're getting so little in boxing. Sometimes it's like, I don't know, it's just something, they just want to see this fight, regardless how old these guys are. They just want to see it, man. And now with so many boxing channels out there, they're gonna push the algorithm. It's gonna be a lot of content for content creators, and this is gonna create a lot of buzz around this fight. And there's gonna be people arguing back and forth, people threatening each other online, threatening to pull up, saying, "I'm gonna be, you better not come to the fight," and all that stuff. And
wow,
it's gonna be crazy if they make this fight, man.
I gotta be honest. I'm surprised you're not going for Deontay Wilder. Were you ever a fan of him?
No, not that I'm not going for him. I mean, I know Deontay Wilder personally. He came to my gym. I'm just saying, I'm just calling it objectively. I would like Deontay Wilder to win the fight. I do like both guys. I'm not going to lie. I enjoy watching Anthony Joshua fight. Every time he fights, I pull for him. When Wilder fight, I pull for him also. But if they were to link up right now, if I had to bet my last $100, I think that Anthony beats him right now.
Yeah,
and I also thought that Anthony probably would have beat him if they would have fought in their prime, just because. And you got to remember, at that time, both guys had a lot of confidence. Both guys, AJ had a lot of confidence. Wilder had a lot of confidence. Nobody had been knocked out. Nobody had been, defeated. So to me, that fight was like whoever lands the first big shot. That's who's going to win that fight. Now I went back to my mental Rolodex. Wilder had fought the better opposition up to that point. He was more tested, in my opinion. I seen Wilder get hurt by John Molina. I seen Wilder get hurt by Ortiz. I seen Wilder get hurt by a few people. I see AJ get hurt too by Dillian White. I seen him take some good shots from Povetkian. So at that particular time, I was going to go with the more sound boxer who had more tools in the box, which was Anthony Joshua. Now, they have said they painted this narrative that Anthony doesn't have a chin. But last time I checked, every heavyweight boxer, except for Usyk, has tasted the canvas. In my opinion, the person who has the worst chin, like far as getting hit and going down, is probably Tyson Fury. Every time Tyson Fury get hit, he goes down, but he gets up. I give him credit, he gets up. But you hit him, he'll go down though. I mean, he been knocked down by Steve Cunningham. Put it like this: the only people that ever really knocked out Anthony Joshua, knocked him down, were people who can actually punch. I can honestly say he'd never been knocked down by a non-puncher. That makes, because it's a heavyweight division, man. Anybody can knock out anybody. Any good heavyweight, you 230, 240 pounds, you land on somebody's chin, man, they're gonna go down, bro. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah. Eric Gomez said, can you ask Coach if he believes Malik Scott took a dive versus Wilder?
Yeah, 100%, man. I think that Malik just didn't want to get up, man. You know what? That's not the first time he done that. That's like the second time they did. I think he did it against Ortiz, if I remember correctly. Yeah, Malik, he just showed up for a paycheck, man. You know what I mean? He said, "Look, I can't beat this dude. As soon as this guy hit me, I'm gonna fall on the ground and I'm gonna act like I'm trying to get up, and I'm not gonna get up."
I didn't see the punch land. To be Eric Gomez, when I've watched it, I've seen it like I probably seen it like 50 times looking for a punch. I didn't see a punch land.
Nah, it was a glancing blow that didn't really have a lot of power. It barely touched him, man. I mean, it wasn't a solid punch.
So yeah, it was that. It's hard to say Fix did he get paid to take a dive? I don't know, but maybe. I mean, it happens a lot, man. It happens a lot in boxing where a guy gets hit and just doesn't want to get hit anymore. Is that fixed?
Yeah, but the dude didn't put forth no effort to get up. It's like he could have continued, but he was like, "Why? You know, I don't want to get knocked out. I don't want to wind up on a highlight reel, so I'm just gonna lay here. You know what I mean? And get my check."
It happens. It happens on every card, I imagine, man. I've been at boxing events. You see a guy get hit and he just doesn't want to get up. I don't think that's fixed or quit, but it's just like it's just quitting. I mean, it happens in every sport. There's guys that are playing basketball that'll just quit. You know, they just give up in the middle of the game for whatever reason. Salute BDA. Thank you. Yeah. So AJ, so you have AJ winning. I heard, I know what you're saying. People are saying AJ is chinny, but AJ's damaged goods too. That's the crazy thing is like that's both guys are damaged goods. I mean, I think they're both shot.
I think Wilder's more shot.
He's just more shot.
And I think that actually AJ actually has a better foundation. Like he's trying to improve. I'm not saying Wilder's not trying to improve. Because he did do a few things that he hadn't done in a while. He did throw some uppercuts. He did throw a few body shots, which Wilder never really throws any uppercuts. And you got to remember, Derek Josuah, he's a hard guy to look good against anyway, man. He's not like your typical guy that you're gonna go in there and shine on. That's just you're not gonna shine on Derek. He's gonna make the fight rough. He's gonna make it sloppy. He's gonna be hitting you in the back of the head. So I got to take that with a grain of salt because he did the same thing to Usyk until Usyk was able to figure him out. If you remember that fight, and Derek Josuah, he's just a rough customer. You know what I mean?
He is.
So that could have been why that fight looked like that. Also, he was dealing with a rough customer, but Wilder was, telegraphing a lot of shots. He didn't work behind the jab. Both guys looked exhausted. I think they just displayed a lot of heart, man. Both guys were exhausted. They were just fighting. It's just guts and glory at that particular time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I showed this highlight. Deontay is telling them he loves them in the corner. See, he's saying it before he lands a punch. What do you think about something like that? Is that kind of weird?
That goes back to the camaraderie in boxing, man. Those guys, like I say, Derek was retiring anyway. You know what I mean? So that just kind of like, hey man, just take it easy. You're gonna retire anyway. Let's just make it to the finish line. You know what I mean? And don't get it twisted. Deontay Wilder, he clearly won that fight. It wasn't. I mean, I had Deontay Wilder clearly winning the fight, but it was a fun fight. It was competitive. And like I said, Derek's retiring anyway. So of course, who you gonna give? If it was close, who would you give a fight to? The guy who's retiring, or the guy who has the potential to make another fight with people? I think the AJ fights, they're going to make that fight. They'd be foolish not to make that fight because it's a lot of money involved in that fight. And I think that's a fight that Turkey Al-Sheikh probably would get behind also.
I mean, usually he was at the you mentioned when he fought Parker, Turkey Al-Sheikh was there. He wasn't there at this fight, but I don't think they need him for this fight. I think Eddie Hearn looks like he'll probably have the backing of the zone to just get Wilder in there if what he wants. But you know what? I wonder where it'll be in the UK, right? If they do fight, Wilder will have to fight in the UK in Anthony Joshua's territory. If they do fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Wilder, Joshua would definitely be the A side. And like I say, Wilder, this particular time, he's just trying to pick up checks, man. And, just keep it 100. I mean, him going up against one of these young champions like a Fabio Wardley or something like that to win one of those belts, It ain't gonna happen, man. you know, those guys is too young, too spry, too much energy, too big of a puncher. He's not gonna beat those guys right now. He's getting a check, and I can you blame the man for trying to get a retirement check on the way out the door?
No, I just don't like it when during their career they kind of act like they're better than boxing and they're doing us a favor, but then when it's almost over, now they love boxing. Oh, I love boxing. It's done so much for me. I want to keep fighting. I just wonder why now?
Money, bro. Think about it, man. You're 40 years old. You got to live maybe the next 30, 40 years. And your profession is boxing, so you want to cash out. You want to get as much money as you can. In other words, you don't want to leave no money on the table in boxing. I know you heard that saying before. Don't leave nothing on the table. So all Wilder's trying to do, he's trying to recoup that money that he would have made fighting Anthony Joshua a long time ago.
Yeah, but it's not like you're clocking in. You're getting punched in the head. Your brain is getting shook. For what? I mean, you should already have enough.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he doesn't. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I don't think Wilder's like a Mayweather, who goes out and blows $200 million, and then like now he's at 50 years old, he's trying to box again. But still, at the same time, it's addictive, man. I guess for the guys, and if you got an opportunity to make a big payday on the way out the door, hey, more power to you, man. Is the people going to pay for it? Yes, I think that fight will definitely be a stadium fight. I think it'll be like a Wembley fight with 100,000 people, and that way they can just go ahead and settle the score. You know what I mean? Just go ahead and settle the score.
Yeah, that's the best way to say it, because T Swoop, he said nobody cares about the fight, and I just mean it's a meaningless fight. Not that it's so much anybody cares. I think it's a meaningless fight, but other than what you just said was it's settling the score. And as men, as fans, I think we need that. I think we usually get it in boxing. There's been countless fights that didn't mean jack shit, like Bernard Hopkins and Roy Jones. They fought like a meaningless fight, and it was just to settle the score, like a decent payday and settle the score. But I just think sometimes you gotta be bigger and better than that, and smarter than that, man. You're getting, I heard Nonito Donaire talking, his wife talking, and they were making excuses again about why he lost, and they're gonna come back.
Man, dude's old, man. It's time to hang it up. It ain't like 42 or 43.
No,
like
but
that.
just the delusion in the way they talk, as if like they have options, and I'm like, no, bro, you just lost. Like, look, Deontay won, but I think go out like that. Like, I think you should have enough sense. But I think, Eddie, you're right. It's the money, man, and that's greed, though. That's not the love. That's not the sport. That's just greed.
But think about it. You got put yourself in their shoes. Like I said, you're 40 years old. This is your profession, so you're retiring from your profession. Now, I don't know how much money Wilder has. He could be well off. He could, money might be low. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, if you got an opportunity to do what you like doing in your profession, to say, how much you think you're making this Joshua fight? What, maybe 20 plus? I'm just throwing a number out there.
Yeah, I'm sure.
20 plus million.
I hear that, but you're saying not okay. Look, I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is this is not baseball. There's in other sports you can be a bench player. You can be a legend and a bench player. Like LeBron plays like half the season, right? These legends, they play half the season, or they play a limited schedule. This is boxing, though, man. You're getting beat the fuck up and in sparring. Like, you could end up talking funny, man.
I feel you, man. But like I said, that's their choice. That's the choice that they made. That's the career that they chose for themselves. And he has every right to earn as much money as he can. And he's gonna have to suffer the consequences. So that's on him.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying it's just greed. I don't think it's anything other than being greedy. Because I'm saying, like, they'll say it's for the love of the sport. You'll hear them say that, like, oh, I love boxing. This is my life. Like, you're kind of what you're saying. But to me, it's none of that. It's just greed. They just get greedy. It's like, nah, bro, sometimes you got to just say no. you're not gonna be able to enjoy it. You're gonna be talking funny. You're gonna like start forgetting everything.
Oh yeah, I agree. Cause like Andre Ward, he walked away from the sport. He left a lot of money on the table, and people were like, "Why are you retiring, man? You like what, 30, 34 years old or something like that?"
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
and he said, he left some money on the table. He said he left a lot of money on the table, and I bet he did leave a lot of money on the table. But he's like, I got to enjoy my health. I want to be able to count my money. So he made a conscious decision to, to walk away from the sport intact instead of waiting around. So a lot of guys let boxing retire them.
Well,
and they don't. That's what happened with Roy Jones. Roy Jones kept coming back, and he tarnished his legacy. And all people remember is Roy Jones getting knocked out all the time. They don't remember what he did. He should have walked away from the sport when he beat John Ruiz. He should have walked away from the sport right there.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, like you mentioned Andre Ward, and the thing about Andre Ward is we always knew his heart wasn't in boxing. He never talked like, "Oh, I love boxing. This is all I know." He never seemed to be like passionate about it. So for him to do that, I think was just normal. And then some of these guys, I mean, I believe them when they say they love boxing. That's all they know. And so if they want to continue, I think it's because they love boxing. But with Deontay, he was kind of the same thing. He just did it because he was athletic. He was good at it. It's not like he ever loved it. But now he's going because he says he loves it. And I just think it's delusion. The man is delusional.
The potential to make millions of dollars or do that to you, man.
No, I get that, but I'm just saying. I think he's delusional. I think he's been punched into delusion because I think he believes that he could do it. Like he believes that he still has a chance. He doesn't believe he's doing it for greed. Like AJ's broken too, but I think AJ has a little bit more ability, so he's not delusional. I'm just saying, man, I don't know why Deontay all of a sudden had this change of heart. Like he actually loves boxing now. Like it's gonna get him badly.
I think AJ lost, like when he lost to Daniel Dubois, he lost for like just being smug and just being, arrogant and just being dismissive. Like, yeah, I'm AJ. I'm a big time superstar. Daniel Dubois is nobody. I'm gonna go ahead and walk right through this guy. And that's how he approached that fight. All lackadaisical, thinking he was the man and all that stuff, and went there and got flattened out. You know what I mean? So that he got humbled, you know what I'm saying? Taught him a lesson. He's like, yeah, you're not all big and bad like you think you are. Just come in and think you can do whatever you want to do. And the same thing, even Daniel Dubois, he got a little arrogant beside himself because he was, on a run, knocking everybody out. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna knock Usyk out this time. And Usyk went there and smoked him worse than he did the first time. So that's what happened. A lot of times these guys win and they start, believing, which you got to believe in yourself, first of all. So ain't that wrong believing in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, you're going to get cooked, first of all. So you got to have some type of self-belief, but you can't be like delusional and you can't be arrogant to the point where you dismiss people and just think that, that you just like this boxing god or something. You just going to walk through everybody.
Yeah, no, I mean that's how like Roy Jones was. A lot of boxers are like that, and that's what I'm saying.
I think Tyson Fury was like that too. When he fought Usyk, he just dismissed Usyk. He was like, this guy's a little guy, 6'3", cruiserweight. Ain't no way in the world he can beat me. I'm the Gypsy King. I'm the Gypsy King. Nobody can beat me. I went 36 rounds with Deontay Wilder, the biggest puncher in the world, and I beat him, so I can beat everybody. And then he went there and the little cruiserweight kicked his butt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Tyson Fury is nuts. I think he's just nuts. I think that's a good thing in boxing, but not nuts to the point of delusion. Eric Gomez, he says, can you ask Coach if he could coach on boxers past or present and retire after who and why? I'm trying to... Am I understanding that? I don't understand. What? Do you understand what he's asking you?
No, you're gonna have to read. I can't read that.
Can you ask Coach if he could coach on boxers past or present and retire after who and why?
Oh, who would I like to? What old or past boxer I would like to coach? Oh, that'd be interesting. Okay, I think I like to take on challenges, man. I think it's a little bit better when you could take a guy that's kind of down in dumps and bring him back, because it's easy to coach a guy when he's on top. And a lot of these guys, like these, I call them celebrity trainers, even though they're really not celebrity trainers. I don't want to say that word, like to degrade them, because these guys have put their work in. But a lot of times when a trainer gets a name, he'll just get fighters to come to him just based off his name. You know what I mean? And it becomes a business too, also, because you're going to get roughly 10% of the purse. So I would like to take a guy who may be a little down in the dumps and try to rebuild him.
So like Earl Spence right now.
Yeah. You want, in other words, you want to take on a project. You know what I'm saying? Like it's easy to take on a guy who has all the talent in the world, who's undefeated or whatever. Yeah, you know, it's like if you was coaching Terrence Crawford, you wouldn't have to do anything. All you would have to do was just basically just get a dude some water and wipe sweat off his brow. Be like, all right, champ, keep doing what you're doing and go back out there. You know what I'm saying? That's no challenge to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let me tell Eric Gomez something, and I don't know, because Coach Eddie says he's a coach. But I'm gonna tell you something. Having known fighters and family of fighters ain't shit, man. I don't know. Eddie's probably not gonna agree, but what I'm saying is, man, they're their own worst enemy. Most don't listen. Eric Gomez. Most fighters, they don't listen to their own worst enemy. They believe they know it all. So it's very hard to coach them. You know what I'm saying? They get stuck in their habits and they don't want to break them. Riot Jackson, Wilder have heart, AJ don't have it, bro. That fight you seen with Wilder and Chisora, that was the grind. It didn't look good, but that fight showed you the grit. Wilder will beat AJ, but AJ will not fight Wilder because of fear. Okay, so we have a Wilder fan. Salute Ryan Jackson. Hit the like. You're the first person to say that.
Don't hit the like. Hit the link. Come up here and state your case, man.
Well, you know what, man? I think a lot of Deontay fans, and you know what, man? I'm not gonna give him shit, man. I think that's what being a fan is. You don't throw your fighter away. So I'm gonna respect Ryan because he hasn't thrown Deontay away like most people have. But my thing to Ryan, what gave you hope watching that? Because it was sloppy. It was not a good display of boxing. So why would you have any hope? And people said, well, AJ didn't look good. It's like, yeah, he fought Jake Paul, but I seen him go 24 rounds with Alexander Usyk. So I have a belief. I have something to hold on to think that I think he's a better boxer than Deontay Wilder. But Ralph says Wilder looked better than his last. But yeah, but he didn't. What do you grade his performance? I said it was a D+. Like, what gave you hope watching that? Eddie, just play devil's advocate. If you were Deontay, put yourself in their shoes as a Deontay Wilder fan. If you seen anything, what gave you hope that Deontay has a chance against Anthony Joshua?
Well, I think what it is, the way in comparison. Now, he definitely not going to look like he did when he was 8 years ago. You know, we can't do that. But in comparison to how he has been looking, I can honestly say that he did show some improvements.
Yeah, but did he give you any hope whatsoever?
I don't believe that he beats AJ, to be honest, man. The reason why I say that, because I'm watching him and I'm gauging him, and he's going straight back. And he's not going back in a boxing manner. He's actually just walking back. He's not keeping that back foot in the back so he can land something and plant and throw a right hand. He's walking back and he's easily pushed up against ropes. And AJ, he's more technically sound. And Wilder's he's a little gun shy too. You know, don't get it twisted. He's gun shy. A lot of those jabs that were landing on him, they shouldn't land. I mean, they were slow and they were catching him, which lets me know that his reflexes are probably not as sharp as they were. Which they shouldn't be. At age 40, your reflexes are going to go. AJ, whether you like the guy or not, the dude is technically sound. You know what I'm saying? He's a technically sound fighter, man. You can question his heart and all this stuff. That's fine. But see, a lot of times also that becomes a narrative. When you don't like somebody, you'll build a narrative against it. Just like people build narrative against Deontay Wilder, people build narratives against Joshua. People build narratives against Tyson Fury, against Usyk. When you don't like somebody, you'll come up in your mind with a narrative, and you'll just dislike that person a lot of times just for no reason. Like Canelo Alvarez, like in my mind, I don't like him. I really don't have a legitimate reason not to like him. I just don't like him, because I built a narrative in my mind. You know what I mean? That I just can't rock with this dude. You know what I mean?
Nah, that's fine. I mean, we like who we like, and we don't like who we don't like. I don't. We don't need to apologize. But Ryan says his heart is what makes him better. Look, man, that's fair enough. His heart, but against who though? He looks sloppy fighting against another sloppy guy. Is what I'm saying. But no, I really mean it. I respect these Wilder fans, man, because most people throw their fighter away.
No. Wilder does have some heart. He has a tremendous heart. He don't have no quit in him. I can say that. But also that heart gets him in trouble too. His will, he's kind of like Holyfield back in the day. Holyfield had a lot of heart, and sometimes it will carry him, and then sometimes it will get him in trouble because his willingness to fight. His
prime too. Well, he's one of those guys that fought way past it, getting his brains beaten. Like he went life and death with guys that in his prime he would have wiped the floor with, but he was fighting like a Russian giant, I think. It was just insane what happened to Holyfield. And he was better than Deontay Wilder. So
Wilder does have heart. The one thing about Wilder,
but against who? It's like against who though? That's the crazy thing. Is like that.
I think the Tyson Fury fight.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, basically him and Tyson Fury, they actually grew their own legend by fighting each other. If you want to be 100. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna tell you another thing. People might think I'm crazy, but Tyson Fury, in my opinion, he avoided Anthony Joshua for years. There's no way in the world that fight should have not happened. There's no way in the world that fight should have happened.
That's boxing, man. That's
crazy though. But you feel me though? Yeah. You feel me, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's so many fights we can go that should have happened, but that's boxing. If you can avoid somebody, that's what you're gonna do. Devin Haney, Tank Davis, they're probably never gonna fight, and they'll probably fight when they're like 35, 36. But Ryan Jackson, y'all saying he can't beat AJ. He called him out. Now all AJ have to do is take the fight. Well, against whoever he fight. Well, Eddie wants to smoke. Yeah, Eddie comes here for the smoke. Shit, man. I mean, Deontay's talking about fighting Moises Saitama. He says he wants everybody, but there's only one fight to make, and that's AJ.
Oh yeah, that's a fight to make. Leave them young boys alone. Them young boys gonna get him carried out on stretcher, man. Leave them young boys alone. Don't mess with no Moses Atama. Don't mess with no Daniel Dubois. Don't mess with no friggin' what's that Agate Cabial. Don't mess with any of those.
Yeah.
Guys, you go for right now. You just
There's
go for
only
big
one
money
fight. Yeah, it's the big money fight with the. It should have happened. Yeah, people still want to see it. Yeah, me, Frank Bay, I may say it's meaningless. It doesn't mean anything, but yeah, we'll all be tuned in. It'll be stories for days. Rafael says, Coach, Fury stops AJ easily. Why did you say that AJ beats Fury?
My opinion, I think AJ beats Fury. I think the style matchup is off. I think it's always been a bad style matchup, AJ versus Fury. Because AJ, Tyson Fury, by his own admission, AJ stuck it on him in sparring. I know sparring doesn't mean anything, but you don't forget that. He said this young kid, he talked about Anthony Joshua, did an interview on him, and he said, man, the dude beat the crap out of him 4 rounds. And if you know the history of Tyson Fury, he gets hurt easy, man. He'll go down. If you hit him, he'll go down. He got dropped by Steve Cunningham, which is at 206 pounds, who's not even known as a puncher. He got dropped by another guy, I think Nevin. You got to look at his box race. I know the guy's first name is Nevin. Overhand right. Same punch Steve Cunningham landed. Overhand right. Tyson Fury didn't, in my opinion, does not have the. I think AJ's mid-range game will beat Tyson Fury, especially this Tyson Fury. This Tyson Fury right here is diminished, highly diminished.
They're all diminished. Yeah. These are all fights that should have happened. But again, that's boxing, man. And you know what? They can fight again and still make a ton of money, which is crazy.
Oh yeah, that fight's gonna happen. Yeah, Tyson Fury. Let me tell you, AJ's gonna fight Deontay Wilder. He's gonna fight Tyson Fury. You know that's the best thing to do. No tune-ups. No freaking banana peels, because AJ, he'll mess around and step on a banana peel and slip up and freaking lose. So don't even play those games, man.
Well, yeah, they already tried it, and Deontay got beat. AJ got beat. So
yep. Don't even play those games. In my opinion, Deontay Wilder is a tune-up for Anthony Joshua right now. That's a tune-up level fight. I know a lot of people might not want to hear that. I'm an American, but I'm just saying, right? The Wilder that I seen last night and putting those two guys in the ring in my mind right now, that's a tune-up fight, and I don't think that fight goes past 6 rounds. I think Joshua gets him out of there in probably about 6 rounds.
Damn. Well, Tyson Fury is actually fighting next week against I don't know, a legit threat. I think the guy's
that's another thing. Tyson Fury better be careful because, like I say, Tyson Fury is diminished. That's a potential banana peel, man. Those guys like that, big punchers like that. Tyson Fury, punch resistance is not what it used to be. He's been down several times. Don't take the best shot anymore. Sometimes he's not in shape. He's drinking, he's drugging, he's doing all kind of stuff. He's an older man. He's prime for the picking. I would not be surprised if he freaking steps on the banana peel.
Yeah, the guy. I mean, look, is he a skilled heavyweight? No, but he's no slouch, man. I've seen the guy. He comes to fight, and he's a big motherfucker. Ryan says they asked Eddie if he will take the fight. He had that dumb look and laugh. Eddie, no, AJ is scared of Wilder. Well, there you go, man. It's gonna be interesting, man, because a lot of Deontay Wilder fans are fanatics. Tell AJ to take that tuna.
He should.
Go ahead.
They should take that fight, Eddie. One thing about AJ, he really don't do a lot of talking. To be honest, man, it's kind of like let me tell you something. And you know this too, Frank. When people start talking in the public, fights are never going to get made. The fights that get made quickly, you don't hear anything about them. All you hear is an announcement, and that's it. So if this stuff starts going back and forth in the media, forget about it. As long as it's quiet, that's when the fight's going to get made. When the next thing you know, they're going to be announcing this fight. There's no reason why the fight shouldn't happen. Yeah, I mean, if I'm Anthony Joshua and I'm looking at that fight, I'm licking my chops. I don't see anything that I'm worried about.
Well, he was right there ringside. He was right there ringside. And
I'm licking my chops.
And he seen him walking to the locker room, and I guess they had like a little showdown. Look, man, I mean, it's gonna be crazy. They're gonna be going back and forth, like you said. But yeah, if it should just happen, man. But I think Anthony Joshua is gonna take a tune-up. That's what it's looking like.
For what though? That don't make any sense. Tune-up for what? He don't need it, man. It's crazy, bro. I'm tired of all this tune-up business, man.
Well, I mean, because he does. I don't think he wants to go right into a Deontay Wilder fight. He's got a lot of rust. He hasn't fought since. You can't count Jake Paul. So
Okay, so but who do you tune up again? If you tune
whoever, it don't matter how bum.
It's gonna be some freaking meaningless, non-punching guy.
Yeah, but you gotta
anything, bro.
Yeah, I know. I think they should just get to it, but I doubt it. I think they should just get to it, but yeah, man. I mean, look, it's boxing. He'll want to tune up. I think Deontay Wilder will just sit on the sideline, then he'll be at AJ's fight. But yeah, man, I think it's the fight. I think that's the fight they should make. They were talking about Tyson Fury, AJ before, but then what happened was the accident, because that would actually happen. But they've been wanting to bring Deontay Wilder back. I think this is like his third chance. Because they tried to make the Parker, they tried to make it with Zhang, and that fell through. So they finally Deontay Wilder got past the finish line, man. So I think the fans will be interested. It'll be pay-per-view though. It'll be pay-per-view.
Absolutely, but there's no reason in the world why this fight. They should go straight into this fight. There's no room. Man, you're a freaking pro, bro. I mean, tune up for what? You go in there, you fight some meaningless guy. You spark him out, 2 rounds? I mean, what did that do for you? It didn't do anything for you.
Honestly,
you know what I mean?
But I think the way Anthony Joshua works, he just likes to train. He needs to feel sharp, just for like muscle memory, just for his own mind. Like he doesn't want to go into it cold. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but
man. And if I'm Eddie Hearns, man, I'm telling Joshua, look, man, we ain't doing no tune-up. We going straight into this fight, man.
Yeah, Deontay's a tune-up himself. If you're honest,
that's what I'm saying. I'm making. I mean, yeah, I ain't trying to diminish the guy, but based on what I seen last night, that's a freaking tune-up fight, man.
Well, Ryan says AJ is scared of Wilder. I don't know where you've seen that. I mean, he was at the fight. He was sitting ringside. He was actually rooting for Deontay. Well, no, he was rooting for Chisora, but he was there. So I don't think he's scared. At this level, I don't think they're scared. I think a lot of it is just the politics, but there's no reason why it shouldn't happen. So if it doesn't, then somebody's scared.
Well, you got to remember, near-death experience changed the way you look at things, man. It's not like Anthony Joshua was undefeated. The man been knocked out, got knocked out by Danny Dubois. He got stopped by Andy Ruiz. He lost to Usyk, so it's not like the guy's afraid of losing. He already done that already. He already been knocked out already. So you're afraid. What are you afraid of? Deontay Wilder don't punch. He doesn't punch harder than Daniel Dubois. Not even close. Not even the same stratosphere. I mean, right now, the way Deontay Wilder punches right now, he don't punch harder than Daniel Dubois. So I don't understand all this scared business over there. I don't make any sense, man.
Talk. I mean, it's just for social media, for fans to argue. I was arguing it last night on the BDA show. We were going about who ducked who. So, I mean, it's just interesting to talk. But I don't know how AJ's scared. They already signed the fight. Deontay, that's when he lost to Joseph Parker and Zilly Zhang. The fights were already done. That's kind of boxing though. They do these preliminary bouts before the big fight. You know, these kind of quasi tournaments. They always do this. That's boxing. Before a big fight, they try to get one more in, like try to milk it.
Yeah, and with the Joseph Parker fight, I mean, if Wilder should have been able to beat him, it's not like they put him in over his head. You know, like Joseph, he had lost. Freaking Derek Chisora beat Joseph Parker. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like Joseph Parker had losses. He had been stopped before. It ain't like you put him in like with a freaking destroyer. I mean, he's a solid fighter, but it's a fight that Wilder should have been able to win. He should have been able to win that fight. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't understand.
He was always a one-trick pony, man. But last night, I don't think we seen a resurrection. I don't think we seen a comeback. I think we seen him get to the finish line. Like in life, it doesn't matter. As long as it don't matter how you finish the race, just finish it. You know, and I think Deontay finally crossed the finish line, and he's gonna get the Anthony Joshua fight. So
you hope so. What I was looking for, Frank, I was looking for the jab. I wasn't so much looking for the right hand. And that's what showed me last night that he can't beat AJ, because the jab it's not good enough to beat him. He's not working behind it. He's pawing with it and trying to almost like a bow and arrow. He's sitting there, he got that right hand cocked and he's holding it and he's pawing with the jab and he's loading up on the right hand, and you can see it coming from a mile away. That's why Derek Chisora never went down, because even Derek Chisora said, yeah, he's powerful, but he loads up on everything. You can see it coming. I mean, everybody, in other words, when you know what's coming, it's like, yeah, I can brace for it. I know what you're trying to do. You're not trying to sneak anything up. You're not trying to line anything up. You're not working behind the jab. You just pawing, hard right hand, paw, hard right hand, paw, hard right hand. That ain't gonna get it done against Anthony Joshua.
Well, that's what it would have gave me hope. If I seen that right hand work even just a little bit how it used to work, but that's what he was, and he doesn't even have that anymore. So I lost all hope. I mean, actually, I'm not saying I root for Deontay Wilder, but as a boxing fan, I'm rooting him just because it's going to be a big fight. It's a big fight for boxing. I mean, it's going to be a ton of people talking about it. So, as long as these guys got a name, Earl Spence is going to come back. Keith Thurman will come back. I mean, in boxing, as long as you got a name, you're going to get these fights, man. So, Coach Eddie, I'm going to have to wrap it up. It's already is past the time I was going to stop, but I got to wrap it up.
No problem. Hey, but salute the Bomb Squad. Congratulations on the win. Hopefully, maybe we'll see a better version of Deontay Wilder next time. It seems like to me he wants to fight. So if he doesn't fight AJ, they'll put him in against somebody else. But he got to get that jab working. But yeah, all right, man. Be cool, man.
Yeah. Thank you. Drop by again. Don't be a hater. Hit the like, subscribe. Yeah, BDA. You know, I always wrap it up. You know, unless I'm a little drunk and tipsy, you know what I'm saying? I just tell her my pull-out game is strong. Is it pull up or pull out? I think you got to do both, right? You pull up, you pull out, then pull up. You know, but make sure you have your towel. Hercules. Yeah, you guys, sorry, I had to cut it short. Oh, actually, we've been going strong, but Zuffa Boxing is on. You had boxing today with Caroline Dubois. You had Tim Zoo. We didn't really get to talk about Timmy Zoo and Earl Spence. We'll get some more. Today was just really about Deontay. Does he have hope? Wilder, did he give you any hope? It's like two broken horses, but that's what it is, man. Two washed up guys. That's life, pal. They didn't fight. That's life, pal. But yeah, man, that's why boxing will never leave you. There's Netflix is next week, so we still got boxing, man. We still got boxing. But yeah, man, hate to go, but I got to go. You know, that's why I tell her, hate to go, but I gotta go. We out.
Remember.
Oh, my bad. Let me get the shots out. Everybody, thank you. Hit the like, subscribe. Through Matador, Devon Williams, Eddie, Ryan Jackson, BDA, Raph, More BC, John Blaze. Who else? Technique. Booty Loose. I think that's his alt account. He was calling out BDA. Just join on, man. You know it's free smoke. I just couldn't go 4 hours today. Who else? Eric Gomez, Bomb Squad. All the real ones always coming in and join. But yeah, man, Frank Bay is out, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Peace.
Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
Frank Bay, talking that boxing biz, say your opinion, but you don't say it. What it is, you know that it's Frank Bay, popping that boxing biz, but you don't mean it. Frank Bay, Frank to the busy bay, that's right, you know that it's Frank Bay. Frank Bay, popping that boxing biz, say your opinion, but you